Welcome to the Winner's Playbook with Steve and Josh. Disclaimer: the information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not take into account your personal circumstances. Please head to the show notes if you wish to book a free 15-minute call to discuss your personal situation.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Winner's Playbook. My name is Steve Sloan. I'm the Managing Director of Link Wealth Group. Today, I've got a special guest. We've got Eddie Maleb, who runs Link Wealth Finance. One of the senior brokers at Link Wealth Finance does an amazing job for our clients in terms of getting them home loans and commercial loans and everything to do with loans. Eddie, welcome.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
How's things been going with you on the finance side of the business lately?
Yeah, it's been very busy. It's been challenging at times, but we're doing our best to help as many customers as we can and keep pushing forward.
And we see that those Reserve Bank governors still putting their heads up every now and then, talking about interest rate increases, decreases, and everything else in between. What's the latest out there, mate?
Yeah, look, I guess over the last couple of years, it's just been all up in the air. And if I learned something, is just keep your head down and keep pushing forward, because they don't know and we don't know. So just we hope for the best, but yeah, it's not looking great.
Just got to make do with what you get, right? And roll with it. Yep. Good stuff. And now, if we rip in today's conversation, mate, it's all about first home buyers and the guide to people getting their first home. It's a big one, this one. It's a big step for people. It gets them on the property ladder. It can be quite challenging at the best of times to get your first property. But if we kick it off, mate, the first steps that people should take to, trying to get their first home and get on the property ladder, give me the first steps. Where do people go from there?
Well, it's very challenging being a first-home buyer, especially in current environment. Like, interest rates are expensive, repayments are high, lending is tight. So it's very crucial at this stage for first-home buyers to really know what to do and how to go about it. As a side note, that's what got me into mortgage broking 10 years ago when I went through my first purchase. And
right.
Yeah, it was a bit overwhelming and you don't know what to do, where to go. So that's what got me into the industry. And I've been doing it for 10 years now. So I highly recommend first-time buyers to speak with specialists, especially mortgage brokers, like knowing where to go, where to start and what to do. This will give them a target or a goal in terms of what they can achieve, what they can borrow, how much they need to save. So first step would be just working on your savings. Try saving as much as you can, because you're going to need those savings. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, speak with a professional, speak with a mortgage broker, so you can work out what do you need to do, little things you need to tweak. You might need to pay off a credit card or pay off a personal loan, or try to increase your income so you can borrow more money. And then this will give you a target in terms of what sort of properties to look for, what's your price range is, and narrow it down so you can actually make a move in 3, 6, 9 or 12 months time.
Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like maybe seeing a broker first, like yourselves, or come and engage yourself and do that. But it sounds like getting your finances organised from the get-go is really important, right? Get on that journey as soon as you can, get that savings plan happening and just moving in the right direction at any time, right? It doesn't need to be 100%. Even when you're buying your first home. I'd say that general rule for everyone. Okay, that's good to know. And mate, look, there's people out there probably buying their first home that maybe, their uni days, they got a credit card trouble or stuff like that. How important is it to make sure that credit score, for people that don't know out there, your credit score is a rating, I suppose, and that rating the banks get hold of when you do an application with them to get a home loan. Talk to us about how important that credit score is and what sort of impact that can have if it's not great.
Credit score plays a huge role in obtaining finance and being able to get the most options out there. The worse your credit score is, the more limited your options are. So it's very crucial to have your credit score and credit report in order. Make sure there's no defaults or missed payments or any adverse history on your credit report, and make sure you'll maintain a good credit rating because this will be used when banks are assessing your application and make sure you've got a good history in terms of repayments. Your conduct is good.
Yep.
So yes, I've seen many people had their options very limited due to credit rating because they've missed the payment a year or two ago and it went down as a default on the credit report. So yes, it's very important.
So I'm interested in that. So if that has happened in the past, but people want to then look for the future and try to fix that and go for another loan, how long is it before the banks start to give you, before they go, you know what, that's in the past, we don't need to worry about that? Is there a time that they sort of don't look at it? Or how does that work?
Usually when there's a default on your credit report, like it's shown on your credit report for 6 years, I believe.
Wow.
So you've got quite a big period of time until that is removed off your credit report. But having said that, there's credit fixing agencies out there that if you actually try to fix it, if you paid it off and it's just showing there, they can help you to remove it and fix your credit score. But you want to try and avoid this in the first place and try to just do what's right. Don't take debt that you don't need. And here's a big misconception. I see a lot of people taking on credit cards thinking this will improve their credit score. And that's an American thing, which we just imitate for no reason. So don't take on credit cards you don't need, because they will not improve your credit score. And if you want a credit card, go get one by all means. If you can maintain it and you know what you're doing, how to use it, that's great. But don't just get it for the sake of improving your credit score, because you want to.
No. All right. And so say, I want to buy my first home. I'm going to come to you for a loan and come see Eddie at Linkwell Finance. What do I need to say for a deposit these days?
Look, if you're a first home buyer, there's few options out there, and a lot of the government grants on offer, which many people are not aware of, can help you get into a property with as low as $30,000 really, which is a 5% deposit on a $600,000 purchase. And if you're eligible for the grants on offer by the government, you can really just contribute that 5% on a $600,000 purchase. And look, it's a bit different between each state, but being based in Melbourne and the bulk of our customers are based between Melbourne and Sydney, 5% would allow you to buy a $600,000 property, which is $30,000, and you don't pay any stamp duties, and you can get the guarantee scheme where you don't pay any lender's mortgage insurance. So $30,000 really, have that saved, and that can get you started somewhere.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. And are we seeing many people when they're trying to get that deposit, sort of, the bank of mum and dad, they call it, and lending off them for a bit? Is that happening a bit out there?
It's a lot less now. We've seen it. Yeah, we've seen it before, but now it's less. There's something very important which a lot of people are not aware of. When you are doing the 5% savings, and the bank needs to see what's called genuine savings. So they want to see that you have saved that 5% deposit over the years or the months. And they want to, because this really reflects your character, if you can manage to save funds, if you're serious about this purchase. So this is very important, to be able to demonstrate you can do the savings and have that 5%. In terms of mum and dad bank, it's more around security guarantees being offered, where the mum and dad offer the property as a security guarantee. And that would help you really get into the market with zero deposit, because the security guarantee can cover the 20% deposit plus the stamps on top. So you can literally borrow 107% of the purchase price.
Wow. So people can really come to you with, if they can do that they don't need a full deposit by the sound of things.
Nothing. Really nothing. Because the bank will cover the 20%, the security guarantee, will cover the 20% deposit plus stamps plus any legal fees on top.
Yeah, wow. There you go. There you go. That's incredible. And mate, you're at the coalface of the property market in Australia. You see, I think you deal with clients all over Australia these days with what comes through the channels that you're working with. What's the vibe out there with this property market? There's lots of talk. The media loves to talk about it. I think
Yeah.
everyone loves to talk about it, right? Because everyone wants to buy a house or has a house and get in the market. Where we headed? Is it you're seeing it go up, down, sideways? What's the go out there?
Well, latest reports are showing Melbourne ranked 5 between the states with most affordable state. So who would have thought?
Who'd have
Good
thought?
old Adelaide, yeah, is more expensive than Melbourne now.
Yeah.
But to be honest, Steve, like I know I work in the field and I deal with people day in, day out and see houses all over Australia. I don't really get into the detail of it because this is constantly changing, like policy change or politics change, and then all this does not matter anymore. So it's constantly changing. And if I've learned something doing this, property is a long-term game. So I can't buy a property, invest six, 700, $800,000 thinking about how it's going to be today or in a year. Like really, it's holding that property 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years plus. And a lot of change during the years. You go through good and bad, through good policy, bad policy. So at the moment, Melbourne, unfortunately, is coping the worst of policies regarding investors. So what we're seeing is a lot of investors selling their properties because of the tax that came into effect, because of the landlord rules that came into effect. And it's just the yields on those investments are not great. So a lot of people are selling their Melbourne investment properties and buying in other states. Therefore, prices are going up in other states.
Yeah, look, mate, being a financial advisor myself, the long-term view has got to be taken for all growth assets, including property shares, whatever it may be. You've really got to ignore the noise. As you said, governments come in, they come out, they change policy. You've just got to not worry about it and just take the long-term view with wealth, building wealth. Building wealth is a long-term game plan. It's as simple as that. The same goes to property. And for those listeners out there who are listening, if you're going to get into the property market, if it's your own home or it's an investment or whatever it may be, we have to take a long-term view, i.e. 10 years plus. It's as simple as that. So just forget the noise and commit to the long term. And if you do that, you can't go wrong, right?
100%. 100%.
And before we, go on, mate.
Sorry, Steve. Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I'm seeing these days is with social media. There's a lot of what you call influencers out there, and they're just pushing that message around quick return, quick make it back quickly and move on. It's not the way. And what might work for someone might not work for you or me. So it's really comes down to your circumstances, really comes down to what you want to try and achieve, and working with the right people to be able to maintain and sustain and go in the right way, one step at a time.
Yeah. And mate, have we got an example of a client that you've helped out buy their first home over the last 12 months?
We've got a few, but I guess most recent one, and that shows the benefit of working with the right people and having the right people on your side. We had a couple, they were buying their first property, and 2 weeks before settlement, they separated because due to personal issues, they just decided to separate, and they wanted to separate the purchase as well. So yeah, we had to jump into it and try and move things around, and we managed to get settlement over the line. Obviously, one of them was very happy, the other one was not very happy, but it's how life is, and having the right people on your side. And when things go wrong, you want the right people on your side, really.
Yeah, that's great, mate. And before we leave for today, how's the broking world looking for in your space at the minute?
Look, it's a great time for brokers at the moment, with 75% market share of all buyers or people getting loans are going through the broker channel. So it's a good time to be a broker, but that puts more responsibility towards doing the right thing and being professional out there and doing what's right by the customer. Also, it's very important knowing your staff, know how to structure things, how to do things. And I guess what makes a broker a great broker, it's not just knowing your stuff. It's how you deal with people and be genuine and try to do what's right, regardless of your personal gains. Just be good, do good, and do your best, really, and try and help as many people as you can.
Yeah, that's right. And Linkwell Finance, mate, if people want to come to you for a loan, and what's the next steps, and what how many banks do you look at for them? How does that all look?
Look, we've got about 60 banks and lenders on the panel. Obviously, we don't use all of them, but we've got huge options and really a fit for every person and every circumstances out there. We've got a great team of good brokers, good support team. So, and very important thing for people to know, like brokers obviously don't charge in most cases. So it's a free service. Reach out to a broker or to us and speak to us so you know what to do, how to do it. And you are 100% guaranteed to be a happy customer at the end of it. So don't spare us.
And what's if people want to come through for a chat, mate, what's the easiest way to get in contact with yourself?
We really hard to miss. We're on websites, social media, just call us. We're all our details are out there through email, through mobile. Call the office. We're not hard to find, so please don't spare us.
Yeah, great. I think people can just Google Linkwell Finance, right, and probably pops up everywhere. Eddie, it was a pleasure to chat today. Thank you so much for coming on the Winners Playbook. I'm sure the viewers got a lot out of today and know more about how to get that first home, which is fantastic. To listeners, thank you for listening again to the Winners Playbook. If you've got any questions, we've got the show notes. All the contacts are in the show notes. You can go there. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please give us a 5-star rating. It really helps us out. Eddie, thanks for coming on, mate. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Steve. It was a pleasure.
See you, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.